Following the headlines in the past couple weeks about mothers having to travel 300 miles to visit their children in NHS hospitals, about cancer patients being denied treatment and surgeries because there simply aren't enough beds to accommodate them, GGI has thought this is the perfect opportunity to introduce NHS board members and executives to a concept called Frugal Innovation.
Frugal innovation is a concept I came across in India, and it's very much a cultural thing where it's imperative to use the resources that you have in the most effective and efficient way. And so we've come up with 3 possible solutions that the NHS might want to adapt in a resource-strapped environment.
Welcome to Good Governance TV. Today we'll be discussing the NHS bed crisis and presenting some possible solutions, because good governance solutions can be found internationally.
So one of the solutions that the NHS needs to look at is patient behaviour. There's a very big difference between how patients behave in the NHS as opposed to how they do in India. There are responsibilities for a patient. For one, they have to pay a small fee. And so there aren't any missed appointments, and there's also no waiting list. There's posters up on the walls explaining exactly what the responsibilities are for the patient and also what the responsibilities are for the staff.
And while it'd be difficult for the NHS to ask patients to pay a sum up front, what we can do is learn from the Narayana model about how we can reinforce the idea that patient's care is a patient's responsibility as much as it is for the doctor. So spending a little bit of money on communications and reinforcing that idea to a patient could make all the difference in the long run.
Yeah, I really do think that we need to educate our NHS patients about the value of that care and help people to understand what is involved. I mean, we're in the communications age now. We can modernize and help patients to understand exactly what they need to bring in order to get the best results. So a second solution the NHS might want to look at is an example we found at Aravind Eye Care. Now there they've identified the bottleneck. So where there's a bottleneck, everything becomes a slave to the bottleneck. The bottleneck for them was the valuable time of the eye surgeon. Now they can only do that many eye surgeries because the eye surgeon is only available for a set amount of time. So what they did was trained an army of nurses specializing just in the different procedures in eye care that the eye surgeon doesn't need to do. So the eye surgeon does the very specialist, complicated things that they are trained for, and the nurses are then taking over to sew up the patient and do the aftercare that the eye surgeon doesn't need to do. Our third solution is obviously technology. Now, the NHS is notorious about adopting new technology, and we can understand why. I mean, how do we know which technology is the one to use? What is the most innovative? And for how long is that technology going to be relevant for? Now, we did find a possible piece of technology while visiting Philips Healthcare in Bangalore.
Philips Innovation Campus, what they've done is they've taken complicated Western technologies that they've developed for the Western world and massively stripped that back to adapt it to the developing countries that Doctors Without Borders and other organizations serve in.
Imagine there's a patient in a nursing home. Now their patient is being taken care of by a doctor, but they need a specialist for a particular issue. That specialist can work remotely by computer screens. There could be a video camera showing the patient and the doctor, and also video screens monitoring the patient's condition throughout. They worked out that one specialist could see up to 50 patients in this way in a single day. So in this video we told you about our Frugal Innovation program, also called Jugaad. We've come up with 3 possible solutions the NHS might want to look at. We looked at addressing a bottleneck, we've looked at new technologies, and we've also looked at patient behaviour.
To learn more about how your trust can be frugally innovative, check out our Jugaad website, link in the description, or read The Future of the NHS paper, authored by Sir William Wells.
And for comments and suggestions of how to be frugally innovative, we would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching.